Well, hello. My name is Cherie Johnson, and I'm here to talk to you about confidence today. Girls, strap yourselves in tight, buckle up, pull that seatbelt back, because we're going to talk about some truth today, okay? So for those of you who don't know me, I have a bit of a background that is probably worth telling when it comes to confidence. So I come from a background of, from my earliest memories, I'm not even kidding you, 4 years old, because I know it was 4 because my parents were still together. They divorced when I was 5. Of me just self-loathing. It's just crazy when I think back to it, because to me, the dialogue, monologue, whatever, in my head was always so just negative toward myself that I thought it was kind of normal. But I look back now and I'm like, that poor, I look back and I'm like, poor little Cherie, she just, whatever it was, there was a negative voice in her head telling her really awful things about herself. And so that was from my earliest memories on, just lots of really bad thoughts in my head about myself. Maybe some of you can relate, but I hope not. But as I progressed, obviously I turned into a perfectionist, and I was kind of just always trying to do the best and be the best and never good enough. And when I got into adolescence, obviously that turned into whoa, you look at the images of what's considered beautiful out there, and it was definitely smaller than me, and it was definitely different than how I looked in my mind. And so about 12 years old was when I first started kind of flirting with eating disorders, went on my first diet, eating only Jell-O because it said fat-free, and then drinking Diet Dr. Pepper, and just awful, yuck. Now that I know anything about nutrition, what? Anyway, so then when I was about 14, I started to binge and purge after basketball practice and stuff like that. A teammate of mine had told me how, because she was tiny and she was rich and she had all the clothes, and I wanted to be like that. And let's put aside the fact that she had a totally different body type than me and everything. But so I started binging and purging. And then I got sick of having to do that and feeling guilty for eating and all that. So by the time I was about 15 and a half, I just was like, screw it. I'm done eating. I'm going to be skinny. I'm going to get straight A's. I'm going to be in sports. It's going to be all the things. And so I did that, and I'm kind of brushing over the pain. I'm brushing over what it put my family through, because that's a different video for a different day. But okay, let's talk about, I'm recovered now, clearly. I'm a healthy human being. I'm weight restored after about 8 or 9 years of really just ravaging my body by starving it and punishing it, and the occasional binge and purge and over exercising and all the things. So when I got fully recovered and I surrendered it to God and was like, all right, Lord, you're going to lead me in this, because I don't want to give this up. But I know now that I'm a single mother, miraculously through all of that, I conceived a child, and gave birth, and somehow sustained his life, although he was born early, just about a little under a month early. Then I was like, okay, I need to be alive for him, and I need to be vibrant for him. He's energetic, and I'm in school, and I recovered, and so I was like, okay, when I got recovered, then I had to recover my confidence. Let's just say I had to discover my confidence, because I realized through healing from eating disorders that I had never had true confidence. I could get on stage, I could give a speech, I could get straight A's, but when I thought about myself, it was always, Cherie, you are not good enough. You do not measure up. So any women out there who feel me, I'm sorry, my heart is with you, but we're going to work through this thing together, okay? Let's just talk about it. So the other day, I was having a really bad day. You know those days, girls, where you're just you look in the mirror and you're pinching and you're this looks terrible. I'm not pretty. I'm starting to look all that. All these negative thoughts were in my head. At the same time, I'm running my own business where all day long I talk about health, fitness, confidence, mindset. And I'm like, what am I doing? So I started crying. I'm like, I'm not good enough. My husband comes home on his lunch break and he's like, what did I just walk into? Because I work from home now. And so when he comes home on his lunch break, if he has time, he never knows what he's going to get. Yesterday, the other day, it was bad. So anyway, So I'm just sitting there, I'm crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, I feel like a fraud. I am not. And he's like, Sheree, he's so wonderful. You're going through this because other people go through this. Like, there are other people out there who need to know that you are also struggling in this way, but you have the gift of wisdom and that God's going to bring you through it, and you can teach others how to do that too. And I was like, but I sometimes still have these bad days. Oh, it's funny now, but at the time I was just like, I don't know how I even have a voice in this world or why anyone listens to me. So through, like, he prayed for me or whatever, and you would think, right, here's the thing that you would think, that I'm just like, okay, so what would any self-respecting, confident, independent, intelligent, fit woman go do right after something like that? I'll tell you exactly what I flipping did. I was like sitting there, he had left, and like I was like, this is great, I have a great husband, and I'm starting to get a craving. I was starting to get a craving for food because raise your hand if you ever use food as a coping mechanism. Yeah, okay. I hate to admit it, but sometimes I do. It's part of my like past disease that I'm getting over. And so I went to the cupboard, I opened it up, I'm like, there's gotta be something healthy in here where I can just have a little munchy snack and then get going with the rest of my work day. But what is staring me in the face? There are 2 Oreos left in this whole package that my kids ate for like the football party they had last weekend. And I was like, okay, I'm powerful. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just eat the cream out of the middle. It won't be a big deal. And then I eat it and I feel worse. So then again, what does any self-respecting, fit coach, confident woman go do? She starts fishing for compliments from her husband via text message. You guys, this is the real deal. This is real life. And I just wanted to share this story with you because I think people believe that when you have confidence, that it's just like linear or constant after you achieve confidence. And it's not. Like, you have to work every day for your confidence, and you have to keep working for it. It's just like if you have your own business. I can't show up for it when I feel like it and expect that it's going to maintain or grow. Like, it's not. If I'm not showing up, it's going to, right? Same thing with your confidence. I know, as a person who's recovered from almost a decade of horrendous eating disorders and then the crappy thoughts that I would allow to go through my head, that confidence is something that we work for every day. And I read this quote yesterday and I shared it on my social media, that you gain confidence by keeping the promises that you made to yourself. The promises that I made to myself were that I'm going to be a woman of integrity, that I'm going to walk the walk. I'm going to not just tell people what to do, but I'm going to do it too. That when those Oreos are staring me in the face, I'm not going to indulge in them, hoping that in the cream of the Oreo, there's going to be this wonderful answer and I'm just going to feel better. I knew for a fact when I started eating that Oreo that I was going to feel crappier on the other side of that, but I did it anyway. And then I noticed what it did to my confidence. I was like, dang, like I just got prayed over by my husband and then I did this. And I don't know why I do that. But what I did after that, I threw the package away with the cookie part of the Oreos. I threw it in the garbage and I was like, I am not going to do that again. Because I'm going to stand in my power that I know that I have even when I'm not utilizing it. And I'm going to say food is not going to give me the answer. And neither is completely restricting myself. But I'm going to make choices that make me feel better physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And I'm done breaking that promise to myself. So I did that. I was like, that's it. Like, that's a symbol to me. Throwing that package away is just like, no, like you're done. And from now on, I am going to become a more confident woman by keeping the promises I made to myself. And when I feel weak, by instead of consulting the cupboard like I did yesterday, I'm going to consult the truth. And one verse that I love, and I have this book, you wouldn't think instead of consulting the cupboard that I would go to this book that my beautiful friend Danny gave me. It's called You're Already Amazing by Holly Girth. And there are all these verses in here that remind you. And if you're not a Christian, just hang on. It's okay, because you were created. So like, let's just go with that. Okay. And it says in Psalm 139:14 that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And that's true for you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that means that no matter what, you are worth confidence. You are worth putting your voice out there. You are worth the work that you're doing, and you're worth the beauty that comes your way because you are. Like, there's no other reason for it other than you are. And so I don't know why I'm getting choked up, but I wanted to share that with you because I try and make fun of this, but I know that a lot of us are sitting here suffering in self-loathing and feeling like we'll never measure up and feeling like we can't have confidence and feeling like we just screwed up way too many times, that we've eaten way too much and now we have 50 pounds to lose because we can't do the things we love to do. Or maybe you've starved yourself and you feel like there's no way out of this pit of hell that you're in, where you're enslaved to your eating disorder. And whichever side of the spectrum you're on, you have the same problem. Our same problem is we are forgetting our true identity and what we're worth and why we should be confident. Because whether you're overweight or underweight or perfectly healthy or anywhere in between, or you're a hot mess mama like me, or you're like trying to run your own business, or you hate the job that you're at, or you feel like every day is just piling on top of each other and it's just, you're never getting ahead. No matter what, you need to be confident in exactly who you are, exactly the place that you're in, exactly what you're going through. Be confident that no matter what, you are going to see this through, that on the other side of this pain, there is beauty that you can't even imagine. There is. And as I'm like kind of making this video, I can see out of the corner of my eye, this tattoo keeps popping up. And it's not on accident. It's not. Because I know the depth of the pain that you may be feeling and how you could never understand how you could be confident in a world where everything feels so messed up, or you don't even know why you feel worthless, but you feel that. And I'm here to tell you, without a doubt, that when you hang on and when you push through and when you say, I'm going to make it no matter what it takes from me, you're going to see the most beautiful life. You are. And not every day is going to be perfect. We can't expect that on this side of heaven. But your story has a purpose, your voice has power, and you, my friend, have every reason to be confident in that, because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So I hope that my silly little rant in some way, shape, or form gives you just an insight to people who may look like they have it all together, but they have days where they crumble too. And if they can make it, you can. If I can make it, girl, I promise you, you've got this, okay? So go forth in confidence and remember how beautiful and wonderful you are right now, in the circumstance you're in the body that you're in, with the face that you have, with all of the gifts and talents God gave you. You are amazing. All right, until next episode, I will hope and pray that you are feeling confident and beautiful.